tall on your feet. Later make up the difference. Toss and turn in your sleep. Family, I know you miss it. Shoot and rock from the streets. Starting to get the picture. Fight for your life to feed. Watch how you turn out winning. This shit just easy me. I pray
about me and shit too.
What she be saying? Tell her name and everything.
No. No. He said, huh? Somewhat? Yeah. Okay.
All right. Hey, yeah. So we just gonna stay on this one topic. I mean, if it ventures off, whatever, but you know you're on a time crunch, so we're just gonna get right into it.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Unleashed GodCast with another episode. And this episode is gonna be different from the previous episodes. Typically, we get on here and we talk about 3 different topics, but because today's topic is so grand and so broad, we're just going to talk about this one topic and see where it goes from there. For those of you who are listening, just know that we're talking about this topic comes from an article. I can't talk. Okay, let's start over. Okay, for those of you listening, it's going to be a link in the description to this article. You can go check out the article and see pretty much what we're talking about, where we got these ideas from. Those you watching the video, same thing goes. It's gonna be in the description. But yeah, welcome. Without further ado, let's get into the topic. And the topic is pretty much around vibrations, frequencies, consciousness, awareness. It's pretty broad. So yeah, what stood out to you, Steve or Jared? I can't talk right now. I can't talk right now.
So there was one part that kind of made me think about several other subjects and articles I remember studying, whether it was in botany or when I was new to becoming a dad, right? Like what to expect when expecting type books. And in the article we were reading, and we'll include that article with this video, right? So if our listeners and viewers want to reference it to see what we're talking about.
Yep.
We're talking about vibrations and syncing those or the synchronization of those vibrations in the animal kingdom, and but more so the example that that clicked and resonated with me, that made me think of other things, was they talked about fireflies, or in the South, lightning bugs, right? Whatever you want to call them, tomato. But when they, flash, they kind of synchronize their flashing. And it's like, how could that be that all these different little bugs, because these bugs are not as intelligent as us or an octopus or a dolphin, right? Or monkeys. They're insects. And so how is it that they're able to do that and synchronize their flashing? And if you've ever seen lightning bugs or fireflies in the work, it really is mesmerizing. Like you kind of lose yourself in it. And it really reminds me of like I just saw that meme where it's like, I'm this old, and it's the screensaver from or music's playing, and it's got like the ambient lighting and that goes with the bass of the music.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, that's what, when the first time I'd seen, because I'm from Southern California, so we don't have lightning bugs, fireflies, right? So my first experience in that was in South Dakota. And I remember just thinking like, yo, that's crazy. And then it also reminded me of when I was, becoming a father for the first time. How skin-to-skin contact is really important with a newborn. And then basically it's comforting for the newborn. And even studies suggest for dad as well, not just, more so obviously the baby was inside mom, more familiar with mom. But in order to get more familiar with dad, they encourage skin-to-skin contact with dads and newborn. And that's something I did with my kids as well, all 3 of them. And they say it soothes the baby. And then I remember reading another article for people who can't sleep, because we all got our sleep demons, right? Especially us 3. We're all different like that with our sleep. And I remember when I, once upon a time when I was married, I was like, oh, no wonder I sleep better if we're actually cuddling skin to skin, because then it said that your heart rates will sync up too. And that the breathing of whatever partner the other partner will match. And when I had really, really bad anxiety, and I would get like anxiety attacks where I would literally faint um, in South Dakota, my dog, which Sweetheart is a rescue, but this dog is a damn 50-pound cat. You understand? She doesn't play fetch, she doesn't bark. And I remember I'd get these anxiety attacks, and she would literally just put her head over my heart, and then like I could feel her breathe, and then it would calm me down. Um, so that's what really stuck out to me for a multitude of different reasons. But all of those, I mean, it's bugs in unison, and then it's human newborn with human parents, and then it's human partners, whoever you're literally asleep with. And then even my dog, when my dog was like, "Yo, you are freaking out. Hey, son, let me just go right here, breathe with me." And that breathing technique was something I used with an autistic student I have. So for those of you who don't know, they done messed up, and now I'm working at a local elementary school here in Texas as an instructor's aide for PE. So I have K through 5, and one of our 5th graders is autistic, and it was like modified dodgeball to an extent. And he got hit with one of the softballs, and he started freaking out because sensory overload. And so I remember I was able to talk to him, and I'm not going to say his name, but I was like, "Hey, look, just focus. Can we take a deep breath in? Let's smell the flowers. Smell the flowers. Okay, now blow out the candles. You like birthday cakes, right? Okay, smell the flowers." I mean, he was fine after that, and then I was able to get him to talk a little bit. So that's what really stuck out to me with that article for those reasons. Because just right away when it talked about the lightning bugs, I was like, "Yo!" And then my mind went into overdrive, and I kind of went on all these different tangents at once. So that's what really stuck out to me, is how that kind of works.
Like they have certain terms for it. Like the law of, I think it was like, no, it wasn't correspondence. It's somewhere they have an article. You can check it out. And it's so crazy, but it's so true. Like, depending on the frequency. So if two people are together, the person who has the dominant energy pretty much is gonna the other person is gonna match their energy. It's similar like two people walking, right? Typically, it's not two people just walking in different paces. Initially, they're gonna sync up. Well, not initially, but eventually they're gonna sync up. They're gonna start walking together. And it's the same thing with us. It's no different from like if you got a calm energy, you got a calm presence, people who like, I don't know, prone to anxiety and stuff, like to be around you, or just in tranquil places, because it's just the frequency, and pretty much wherever you're at, it's gonna shape you to that frequency. Either you're gonna pretty much adjust to the frequency, or that area or that place or that person is gonna adjust to your frequency. Like I made a video a while ago too, how certain locations can pretty much be a hindrance to you. So like for example, back when I was at my old house, or my mom's house, and after I joined the military and everything left, I hadn't been back there for, I don't know, a couple years. And growing up though, we would always, when we sit down to eat, I would always say grace. It was automatic, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Every time I sit down, I would before to eat, I would say grace, whatever. I left, didn't do it anymore, because why? But anyway, I came home from leave one time, and I was sitting there eating at the kitchen table, and automatically my mind's, or my pretty much my subconscious just said grace, and I caught it. I was like, why did I say that? I was like, And I thought about it. It's because that frequency had been, or that area has been programmed with that frequency of, and that activity of, this is what you do in this area. So I say it can be a hindrance, because let's say you want to change your life, you want to evolve and stuff, but you keep hanging around the same places, right? If you've been going to those places doing the same thing time and time again, your subconscious, when it goes to that place, your body is gonna get back in that mode, right? It's just like every time I sit here, right, my body automatically knows if we make a video, we're meditating, or we're studying or something, right? It's no different from if you have a TV in your room. They say you don't want to pretty much have a TV in your bedroom, because if you're sleeping and your body thinks you're going to be watching TV, or if you're always, or vice versa, whatever, you get what I'm saying. But yeah, it's all about the frequency. But I'll pass the mic for now.
For now. I mean, cause I don't know, cause like the way y'all are answering it, man, it's kind of. I'm trying to figure out how to answer the question because y'all, cause like both of y'all coming from like two
It
different.
ain't a question.
directions.
You know what I'm saying? We just
Yeah,
talk
like,
about it.
huh? Because I get what you're saying, being programmed to the wrong frequency, that could be a detriment because if you want to do better, but you keep hanging out with the same people doing the same thing, you're going to get the same results. But I think that kind of go hand in hand with like the laws of attraction, which is also go hand in hand with like, you know what I'm saying, like those vibrations and frequencies. Like your vibration and your frequencies are going to switch and alter when it's supposed to for you to go through life. I mean, honestly, if you look at it right now, like everybody do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like at one moment you vibrating at one frequency and you hanging out with one group of friends that likes one kind of subject matter. And then, you know, and then 5 years later, that frequency change. Those friends fade away, and now you with like another group of friends. You know, so I believe that everybody's frequency changes when it's supposed to change, like not necessarily like when you want to change it.
I mean, what if you change your frequency? Just I don't want to say go along to get along because I don't believe in that, but it kind of has to go hand in hand with what you said and what Brian was saying about saying grace, right? So, my ex-in-laws, right? When I go to California, I take the kids to see them on my free time because they stay back in Southern California. So like I'll have a whole itinerary planned out, and then whatever days that I have nothing, I give to them. And they're like devout Jehovah's Witness, right? And I'm not hating. I don't hate on people's religion at all. But you know, of course, like I know I've known them since junior high, right? Or at least that's when I met my ex, and I knew back then she was a hardcore religious family. It's a small town. You run into them all the time at the grocery store. You know, one grocery store and all that, one movie theater. Mm-hmm. So I kind of do it, I guess, more so out of respect because I know that that's what they're about. And you know, I'm not totally fluent in Spanish. I understand more than I can speak. I just speak Spanish at the same speed I speak English, which is terrible because it's a fast language. But they, you know, I speak Spanglish there, and the point I'm getting at is that, you know, I don't pray like that. I don't believe in that type of faith. But every meal we've ever had there with the kids and I, like, you know, my suegro or, you know, father-in-law, I still call him that even though, you know, been divorced, whatever. It's just out of respect. Again, it's a title. You know, like I hold hands with everyone else and I bow my head and I pray along in Spanish. Like, again, it's not going along to get along, but the way I see it is like that's their house and that's their place of peace, and I'm not going to disturb it. Especially like when it comes to religion. Like I'm more holy. I'm more of a spiritual holy person in general, right? Like I'll never desecrate a mosque. I'll never desecrate a temple. I'll never desecrate a synagogue. I'll never desecrate a Christian house of worship or a cathedral. Like I just don't believe in doing that, period. And desecrate, not even destroy, but I won't disrespect it. Like that's just because other people find solace in that. So that's why I kind of disagree there a little bit. And it kind of goes with Brian saying like he just always says grace, and then he caught himself. I guess more so maybe because I'm aware to other people's spiritual beliefs or needs or preferences that I see it as a great uniter. A lot of people think, and I've even taken the stance where religion divides a lot, but I've studied so many different religions and mythologies that like I can kind of use it to my benefit, right? To like break down the barriers. So that's why I kind of, you'll never catch me praying like that ever.
Dude,
unless
for me, it was automatic. Like I didn't even think about it. My body just went into it, and I was like,
I don't think that's a vibration thing. Then, like that seemed more like a program thing.
I think it's both.
I mean,
think the vibrations will put you in the program.
I mean, it's similar. It's similar to like when you train. You know what I'm saying? Like, and pretty much Sep can attribute to this. As like a boxer or a fighter, when you train in the ring because that's where you're gonna do your work at. You know, like you're gonna fall back on your training, so you need to be in a setting in which you are training. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, I got something for you.
Huh?
How come when you're in an empty gym, you don't get as much energy? How come you don't get as much energy in an empty gym? And you was like, I don't know. Then when it's packed out, and you say you got some bad women in there, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you stronger.
I mean, yeah, because you got an audience.
Yeah, because it's the energy of everybody.
I mean, well, it's the energy, but yeah. But I also feel as though when it goes back to the grace, I just believe that if you did something for so long in a certain location that never really changed, you're always going to fall back into that rhythm, so to speak, because it's so ingrained in you subconsciously. I mean, heck, like half of the graces that we say, they're like they're not even well thought graces. It's just the same default, you know, graces we say, you know, because it's what we do when we sit down for dinner. You know,
I think you're right.
I had never been in that house until after I was divorced from my ex-wife. So that was.
Wait,
I mean, that's right. What's that?
Wait, you said you hadn't been in there until after?
Yeah, I never set foot in that house or had a meal in that house until after the divorce.
What?
So and again, but I always knew how holy that family was, man. They're one of the big holy family like shot callers back home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that small town. So but then again, like even before my first deployment, I started reading about the Quran just because of like, you know, security forces, we're gonna work with these dudes more than likely. And I was deployed during Ramadan both times. So I think that's more so just me trying to be like, all right, well, hold up. Let's just not cause any unnecessary tensions. Let's just, won't be that hard for me. Just to read. And I'm a weirdo where I read. Like, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, all right, well, can't go to sleep. Let me just go ahead and read a little bit. Then like,
that's a good habit. It's a good habit. Instead of jumping on IG. That's what I do.
I need to get on IG.
Nah, you straight. Well, speaking of grace, though, like saying grace and blessing your food and everything, it's actually a pretty good idea. Even though I said I don't do it, but it goes back to the whole energy talk too. Like when you're blessing, pretty much, if you want to make holy water, right? All you got to do is take water and declare it sacred. That's pretty much all you have to do to make holy water. And so if you're blessing your food, ultimately what you're doing is you're sending energy into it with Reiki, right? Like there's Reiki attunements you can get. There's Reiki healing sessions you can get. You become certified Reiki, right? I got attuned to Kundalini Reiki, and I got attuned to was it UC Reiki, all 3 levels. And basically what Reiki is, for those you don't know, it's pretty much life force energy. That's pretty much, you get connected to that current, but we all are connected to it pretty much. It's life force energy. And basically what happens is when you call up on Reiki, you can have the energy flow through you and you can push it out of your hands, right? And so when you're saying your grace, essentially that's what you're doing with your intention. You're not doing it with your hands necessarily. Sometimes you maybe are with your hands prayed up, but just that intention is blessing the food. It's sending the food like good energy and stuff. Same thing with the drinks. It's no different from if you hurt yourself, immediately you go and grab it. Now some would say, well, that's because you're bracing it. You know, you don't want to move it. You might hurt some more. That's going on, as well as you're also sending energy to it. It's no different from if a child hurts itself and the mother kisses it, right? Kisses the boo-boo, right? And it all of a sudden it feels better. That's just Reiki energy getting sent to that. And it's all energy, dude. But yeah, I just wanted to share that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I never even thought about that. And I'm like kissing boo-boos all day.
Yeah, man. Because
they like
literally what you're doing is
old injuries that they know are just, that's where I cut myself last week. That's where I fell on a rock. Whatever it is, man. Whatever it is, the little kids, you know.
You're tapping into the frequency of love and directing the energy into it.
You know, that also kind of, so you talk about the frequencies of it. So when they see the lightsabers we have,
Mhm.
like that frequency, because like especially on my son, like I see it in his face. He's like, because he knows like we're about to have a toy fight, right, with the
Yeah.
lightsaber. And so yeah, wow, I didn't even think about that. Like certain like the lightsabers more so recently because of Halloween, and then the Mandalorian is back on, so the cartoons have been going too. So yeah, I didn't even think about that because as soon as they see the lightsabers come out, they're about it. Like their whole demeanor. And it's the
And
same with other toys too. Like certain toys, like wow, yeah, I didn't think about that. Certain types of because kids like unless your child is on the spectrum, most of the time they're going to show their emotions right then and there. So it's super obvious, and because of how innocent they are. But wow, yeah, because he has like, because my son is not aggressive at all, but when he sees the lightsabers, he's like, ah,
frequency.
yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even really. We had a lightsaber fight earlier. That's what made me think of those. Because he was doing his like Joker laugh, like Joaquin Phoenix status when he's getting.
Bro, like it's all frequency, dude. Like so, right now I'm enrolled in the class, and this class I'm in right now, well, it's actually a degree program, but the class I'm in right now is called intuitive guidance, right? And right now we're talking about the clairs, like so clairvoyance, pretty much clair means clear, right? So clairvoyance, clear seeing, clairaudient, clear hearing, clairsentient, clear feeling, clear cognizant, clear knowing, right? We got all these different clairs or psychic abilities, but really all you're doing is perceiving energy with the different senses. That's all that's going on. Like that's all the energy and vibration and frequency is. Well, it's all around us at all times. And pretty much we have these different faculties, if you will, that we can pretty much tap into these different frequencies.
And this is using our senses subconsciously, or?
Well, yeah.
Well, I think it would, right? Because you can make some observations with your eyes. You can make some by hearing somebody's tone, like an irregular tone in their voice. And then was that?
Like you're taking the energy like all day, taking the vibration, taking the frequencies all the time. Like all you can look at this body as being just really one, I don't know, what's the frequency detector, if you will, right? The eyes are like surveillance cameras, right? The senses are like motion sensors, right? You got you just got all these different things, right? Because it's all just getting filtered through your mind, which is not, I don't mean the brain, through your mind, which is pretty much connected to the subconscious mind, which is pretty much the universe. And yeah, it's just getting I guess translated into
So,
like thoughts, words,
yeah.
and images.
I wonder if that has anything to do, because I'm kind of shifting a little bit, but I'm taking this more so with dogs, right? Like I've always had this because I've always had dogs my whole life. But if my dogs don't like you, like you're on my radar. You could have done nothing wrong, right? But if my dogs like if I can see it, I'm just like, to me. And I remember reading something not too long ago about an article suggesting that. I don't think it was peer reviewed, right? So it was just a theory, an unpeer reviewed theory, but it was still published and put out there. And it was basically indicating that. And then people in the comments section. Now I know this is dangerous because people are dumb on the internet and they just say stuff to say. But the overall consensus when I was reading the comments was, it was like, back in my, blah, 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 I had this ex-boyfriend and my dog didn't like him and da, da, da. And then X amount of time later, he hit me or he sexually exploited me or abused me or, you know what I mean? Things like that. Or it was like, my dog didn't like my new boyfriend or new girlfriend. And then come to find out after some time, I was done dirty. Yeah. And reading those comments, I was always like, yeah, that is kind of crazy. Because I remember someone that I was really close with in high school, a good homie, right? I remember one of my dogs just didn't rock with him. And I was like, dude, I don't get it. Like, he's one of the homies, whatever. But then after some time, his true color showed. And I said,
yeah.
You know,
because a dog or animal, it's
heightened maybe.
It has no separation from it and the creator, right? There's no, they don't have all these beliefs and ideas and shit like we do that just pretty much distract us from what's real. Like, if you ever got done with a great deep meditation and all of a sudden you just feel one with your environment, Jared, I don't know how often you meditate, but I can pretty much say for sure when ayahuasca hit, you know what I'm saying, how connected you was to the environment. Like, I've been through, like, deep meditation when you connect it, like that's how animals are at all times, so they can pick up on the frequencies like that.
Yeah. I've noticed so now you brought up meditation, like when I do actually get a good meditation, because sometimes my meditation, I think a lot of people have a common misperception about meditation where you have to sit there and like or whatever.
That's how I do it.
Like when I can't really clear my mind, that's why I love boxing so much, especially doing drills, because literally the only things I'm focusing on is my breathing and my form. That's it. It's impossible to think about anything else, because then I'm gonna get got. Or my coach doesn't play, man. She'll cut that ass up, and she'll see it from across the room that I'm getting lazy or that I'm slacking. So when I do though get the meditation not from boxing, just actually before work, I'm able to look on things. It has made me almost like grace. I'm not eating because intermittent fasting, right? I'm not eating first thing in the morning, but being grateful. I think that's a lot of the reason people say grace without really realizing it, is to be grateful for the meal you're about to have, you know?
Yep.
But I kind of, man, I hate to sound so cliche and cheesy, but just being like, you know, damn, glad I woke up. I'm glad, you know, no one tried to find out and break into my house. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is. And it has, especially like in the morning with these kids doing crosswalk or greeting them as they get out of their cars, right? You know, a lot of kids, I feel bad because they're like, oh, hey, Coach S, and I'm like, hey, buddy, how you doing, man? Because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But you know, like I've had that kind of response with them, and I think it's maybe because not only that, but the vibration I have with children, like I can't hate on children because they're innocent. They're not fully developed asshole adults like everyone else. You know what I mean? So I can't even be mad at that. And I also want to say their vibrations have made me happier lately. Like I've noticed working with kids and just helping this kid that doesn't know how to kick the soccer ball, or doesn't know how to throw properly, doesn't know how to do the right, whatever it is, man. Something so little to us and just so to us, most of us are like, bro, this is easy money. This is dumb. Like, no, I got you, kid. But to them, it's like, oh my God, like this is awesome. Yep. Look, I'm gonna show my brother, my sister, you know, or hey, look, and they tell a classmate that they're doing it right or whatever. And that's really made me a better person, I think, because I really forgot how innocent they are and how happy they are with like the simple things. Like it's made me working with them and their vibes of being, you know, innocent children. And there are some that are troubled or, you know, autistic, but even them, they like my two autistic ones, bro, they are not bad kids. It's just they get a little bit overwhelmed and you just got to talk them down. And I think they're responsive to me because they can pick up on my vibe where I'm just like, hey, no, it's okay. No, you know, it's okay. It's okay to be sad. You can cry, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, but you know, this is supposed to be fun. So I have a newfound gratitude working with elementary. And I know people who really don't know me or remember me from back in the day are like, what? Because you don't have patience for bullshit. Well, it's like, yeah, in the military, it's different because you all a bunch of grown ass adults.
Yeah, you know better.
Exactly.
So that vibration thing, I kind of didn't think about how it was affecting me lately until I started, you know, being more grateful in the morning. And then, you know, even just being grateful, I'm like, all right, well, you know, I got this going on. These kids are happy, and this is making me happy, just helping them. And I just kind of, I guess I lost my way recently on appreciating the small things. And I see it in a different light now from working with kids.
Yeah, because if you look at it, gratitude, it seems like the opposite side of that coin is like lack, right? So when you're grateful, when you got gratitude, when you're coming from a frequency of gratitude, you're coming from a place of already having something, right? It's no different from if you want to manifest something. You can't sit there and say, damn, I want this, because you're coming from a place of lack. You're coming from a place of not having, right? So when you come from gratitude, just pretty much already being grateful for that thing, you're already appreciating that you have it. So that's manifestation. And so when you sit there in the mornings like you do, and before work, and you just become grateful for all the stuff you have, you're coming from a gracious or a gratitude frequency, and the universe is going to respond to that frequency, right? That's how the universe operates. It doesn't care what you say, your intentions and shit. No, what frequency is it on, right? So if you put out that frequency, it's going to get you, you're going to receive more of that back, right? More stuff to be grateful about. It's no different from if you a dick, right? You're going to get more ways where you're treated like an asshole throughout your day.
You know,
that's pretty much what you're in tune with. I mean, like, that's the frequency in which you're giving off. So back to what Steven was saying about how he starts his day by saying like positive affirmations. Like, we already pretty much have like discussed, I think before we talked about like the power of positive word and negative word. You know, how you got like the experiments where a person plants a seed, speaks loving things to the seed that's growing. The seed that was spoken great things to grew to this a wonderful and amazing plant, and then the one that was talking nasty to sprouted and died, basically, you know. Or the ones who talked to a glass of water while it was freezing, and everything that was said positive to the one glass, sludge in a cup, basically.
Yep.
That has a lot to do with vibrations as well, especially how when you talk about like people like working with kids, like saying positive things like that to children can have a very big reverberating impact on their day-to-day life, everything, you know. Like, that's why they also say, like, as parents, we shouldn't yell at our kids first thing in the morning, you know, because at the end of the day, our voice is their inner voice every day when they leave the house, and you want that inner voice to be you yelling at them at 6:15 because they take forever to put their shoes on. So I mean, yeah, so like really just being mindful of your words, that has a very big impact on just like, you know, like day-to-day life as far as frequency. So yeah, it's very big on vibrations.
So Brian kind of reminded me of one last thing, and then after that, I don't know how much more I can go because I feel like I've been hogging the mic.
Are you good, man?
I'm glad I have your permission. There was a TCN, or I'm sorry, he wasn't. He was a TCN, but he worked for G4 Security, right, on my first deployment, and he was from Kenya. And he was the only Kenyan that I remember recalling on that deployment from being there. And he was a Christian, like a devout, hardcore Christian. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but we were in a Middle Eastern country. And we started noticing right away that he got treated differently. So like the Middle Eastern troops that were there were supposed to feed him, like bring him chow or whatever, but they never really did. And then some of the other G4 guards, G4 security guards, whatever, they're from Sri Lanka or Nepal, and they would just go with it and say they're Muslim and all this and that. And then they would get, paid some real, right? They'd get paid the local currency, and then they'd get brought in. They'd get to come in for their gate shack and have meals with them or whatever. So I remember going up to a homie, and I'm still actually friends with him on Facebook. I'm just not going to name drop him for the sake of that, right? I know he's not doing that line of work anymore, but I remember going up to him. I was like, "Hey, man, like, you are so happy all the time." And this is in 2012, so I was a little bit younger and kind of misguided with, because at this point I wasn't into Buddhism yet. I was still sifting through the sand. Like, you were so positive, bro. It is hot. It is like 120, 30 degrees. We're on this asphalt. They don't let you come inside. You don't get a smoke break. I don't even know if you smoke. If you want them, I got them. Bro, I haven't seen you eat like at all since we've been working here. Like, are you hungry? Because I got a bunch of extra, like, chicken, like, and granted, it's like baked chicken with grease, but it's still better than nothing, right? Some
Baked
bland
chicken with
fries,
grease.
well, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just not the greatest, but it's
This
still.
man
I
gave
got
him a
mine.
side of grease with his chicken.
But you know what I'm saying? Like the greasy, nasty oil, like they just dipped it in like not even vegetable oil, just like straight up motor oil. Just dipped it in there. You know, but I was that dude who had the one extra ammo pouch full of hot sauce, different kinds, right?
Hot pocket.
No, not hot pocket, bro. I'm talking. I got tapatio, I have tahini, I have Cholula, just in case I'm feeling it. Sometimes Valentina. Anyway, bro. So I'm the hot sauce man. And so I was like, hey man, like I have a bunch of extra food. Come eat, bro. Come sit with us. Come sit down. Like I got traffic for a little bit. And then I got to know him more. And I was like, look, I got to know, how are you so happy all the time? He goes, look, I'm not worried about any of that. I'm not worried about them. And luckily for me, all of you guys, or most of you guys, are Christians, just like me, right? And I didn't want to break his little heart, but I was like, yeah, I'm a Christian. You know, I was like, well, yeah, most American, yeah, we are Christian. We're a Christian nation, right? And he goes, so God is looking out for me, because here we are. I'm having some cold water, some cereal with milk sometimes, right? He goes, and now you guys are actually ordering me dinner every day. Sometimes I have so much I take it home, and I have something to eat throughout the night, or whatever our sleep schedule was, right? Because he stayed off base. And he's like, so I'm okay. Why should I be upset? God's taking care of me. He's like, am I right, or am I right? Here we are having a nice meal, having great conversation. You're a good friend of mine. God's taking care of me. And I was like, because I don't even believe in this God that you're talking about. And I didn't tell him that, but it was like, he is. Just based off of his energy.
Yeah. That's what it is.
When I
lag.
basic tech school is the same, right?
Say that again. You kind of lagging.
What's that?
There you go. You was lagging. All right, you're back.
Okay. Cool. I'm good, right?
Yeah, you good now. Yeah.
So at the end of my deployment, right? Because I got close with dude. I started sharing like Mexican candy that my family would send me in the mail. You know what I'm saying? Just hooking them up, homie, hook up. Still friends with him on Facebook today. But towards the end of that deployment, I found out my best friend from basic and tech school, like, is the same person. So we were bunkmates in basic, roommates in tech school. He's going out. And wouldn't you know, what did I end up telling him? Hey, Jeremy, this is the homie. As soon as you get there, this is the checkpoint he works out for. Just tell him I said what's up. I already told him you're coming out there. He already kind of knows to keep a lookout for you, whatever. And lo and behold, the cartons of cigarettes I was sharing Jeremy, I'm pretty sure he was offering, if not sharing them with that guy. And I'm like, bro, and that to this day blows my mind, because like talking about the type of energy you manifest, no matter the external noise, he manifested that positive energy. And even someone at this point, I was a super fucking negative Nancy, right? I almost approached him as in like, bro, why the fuck are you so happy? Be miserable like everyone else. This shit sucks.
Be mad with me. Yeah,
bro, like like I'm mad that they're not even taking care of you. Why aren't you mad? Like, and me growing up knowing the Bible, I was just like, he's right.
Yeah.
And even then, I couldn't it was too late, bro. And he just had such a positive vibe, and like he made that deployment a lot better. Like a lot of people didn't want to work that day because it was just like it was a heavy workload right outside the flight line, so you're always moving. And I looked forward to it because like, yes, I hope the homie's there. I think he's there today. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh. Yeah, because
that just speaks to that, what you guys were saying, what you put out there will come back to you. Even the most unexpected form was like 21-year-old pissed off me.
Bro, like your emotions is pretty much a boomerang. And like the fact that even though you might not believe in somebody's religion or whatever, or their spiritual beliefs, it doesn't matter what they believe in. Like the universe doesn't speak English, you know what I'm saying? Or Arabic, or whatever language you choose. it speaks frequencies and vibrations, right? So if you're thinking about your God, right? And maybe that God is named God or Jesus or Allah, whatever name it is, you're still coming from the same frequency. So you're putting it out there. And so the one that actually vibrates at their frequency is going to return to you what it is you need. Like, that's one of the toughest things that I had to learn when it comes to like communicating with spirits and stuff, right? I would try to use my words, and I'm learning like, no, that's not how you do it. You got to get on the frequency. You got to get that emotion. That's what's real. That was what makes your manifestations real. That emotion of it. That's the only thing that's like really tangible like that. Your words, no. You think you're finna talk to a spirit that doesn't speak English and it's going to understand you, right? Like, no, it's not going to work. But the emotion, that's how you communicate telepathically. It's through images and emotions, not through your native tongue. That's not how it works. But yeah, man, that's what he was on, I guess. That gratitude frequency.
Yeah, and I was like, that was one of my, like, that was my first low in life, really. Right. So even then, like, if you don't know me, I could be an asshole. I can definitely, and it was like, I remember even actually kind of being a little bit upset because I was like, damn, Christian of all people got my ass, got me with my own form of religion, you know, because I was young. I didn't understand all of that. That gratitude frequency definitely, it's life changing, man. Even recently, I think it was my Halloween pictures, or it was my pre-Halloween pictures with the kids. You know, he liked it and whatever, and I was like, man, I have to hit up the homie. Let me go hit a bunch of his stuff, see how he's doing, see how he's living. It just, yeah, it just blew my mind, man. It still does to this day. Kind of, I don't understand it other than how we just explained it.
And bro, that's how people can communicate to their pets. You think that dog understands the words that you're saying? No.
Yes.
It might,
I told him.
it might understand its name, or just every time, you know, it might know his name, but if you sit there and talk to him like, get down, that mug ain't hearing you. It's just here. I don't know what it hears, but I'm pretty sure it's picking up on the energy and your intention behind it. It's like, oh, he wants me to get down. All right, quit playing, bro. Quit playing. Chill. But what y'all say? I mean, y'all the ones with animals.
You know what? With Mango, may she rest in peace. Like, that wasn't even supposed to be my bird, but I don't know how or why. Like, yeah, man, I just, even, bro, so for legal reasons, I may or may not have rode a turtle in the wild in Hawaii, right?
Dude, broke a turtle. Oh my goodness.
May or may not have.
Legs just broke.
Well, so I went out looking for turtles, and in order to find them, you know, it went out, the shoreline went out probably like 1,000 meters, but it was no more than 20 feet deep, right? A bunch of reef or whatever. And once I started getting near, because I grew up in the ocean, like, I could feel the different tides, and I even did get sucked into a tide, and I almost hit a reef because of it. But I remember finding this sea turtle, man, and I have the footage. I need to get it off my old tablet flash drive and put it here. But like, there was just like a moment where we were kind of like in this current together, and we were probably like less than 3 or 4 feet away. And I remember just looking at him, and I was just so mesmerized. And then we both got out of that riptide at the same time, got into calmer waters, and just the whole experience and vibe. Like, I didn't feel fear, and I don't think he was afraid of me. And this turtle was damn big, man. People who don't know, sea turtles get big. And so I swam with them for at least 15, 20 minutes before I finally was like, all right, I know this is going to scare him, but I have to do it.
Like, get off me. Get off me.
It's more of like a word, son. Okay. And he just took a deep dive, like, such a fast, because at this point we were starting to get to open ocean a little bit. And I just remember, like, I had to let go because he dove so fast. Like, all right, fool, you want to come on this ride? Then. And my goggles and snorkel came off, and I was like, oh, yeah. on that same trip, I swam with a bunch of dolphins, like a pod of like 200 dolphins probably. And I remember a lot of people didn't want to dive. They just wanted to stay on the surface and like, oh my gosh, cool. I was like, nah, son, I got a Jason Momoa with this. I'm the real Aquaman. So I went. This is before the movie came out, but I dove down or whatever, and I even have the footage of that too, where I kind of was like, this is cool. It was a cool vibe, and I was just mobbing with the dolphins, and then I kind of started one. I didn't know that there was a baby on the other side. So like I noticed a quick like dolphin kind of turn in my direction. I was like, all right, let me get some distance because that behavior ain't cool. And then like he went up and he kind of tail slapped over in my area. And then like the other two dolphins turned away. And when they turned, I was like, oh, I didn't even see the baby. That was incredibly stupid. But I think the dolphin didn't go full retard on me or attack me all the way because he was like, man, this retard, let me go just correct him quick, son. Because I wasn't doing anything like that. And I totally like, I bring those up because like those are exotic animals most people don't mess with, or like they really the average person won't get in there. And I don't know. I've always now that you mention it, like I've never been afraid of most animals because I feel like I can they can just sense my energy that I don't mean harm. That like it's just genuine curiosity. And with the turtle especially, I felt like he was kind of curious with me a little bit. As weird as that sounds, because like we looked into each other's eyes, man. I have a picture of it where like I got a picture of him on the GoPro where he's literally just kind of like we're locked eyes. And I remember I was like, yo, I got to get a picture of this because like no one will ever believe me. Like this is just something so crazy. And like he's looking right at me. And it was the coolest thing. It was weird. It was cool. Same with Mango, the bird I used to have, right? Like we would kind of, and then even like she would know when I was like fucking with her or she was gonna fuck with me because we'd kind of look at each other and then like we'd squint and then she'd start doing her weird laugh, like a monkey noise laugh, or like she'd turn the lights on and off and then she'd start laughing about it because she knew it would freak me out. So those vibes, man, you can. I almost feel like you can communicate with telepathy with animals. I mean, look at my man, the crocodile.
That's the only way.
Look at the crocodile.
It's like a way of knowing with them, yeah.
Yeah, because that dude was literally like crocodiles, bro. I won't do all that, right? But this dude was literally, oh, you're all right. Yeah, you're a beautiful girl. Yeah, look at this Sheila. She's gorgeous. And then it's like, bro, now that I think about it, it's like that's probably why these animals are like, all right, man, you're
Think about these cats who go in the wild with these big cats. Nah, I ain't talking about no Tiger King shit. I'm talking about their backyard, yeah, and be playing with these big, I don't know, nah, it ain't that heavy, but big ass cats.
Yeah, 500-pound cats. Some of these cats are like 300 to 500 pounds.
And like, why doesn't it attack them? Or better yet, so in certain like more less civilized, you can say, tribes, right? I want to say in Africa, it's a video I've seen where their method of hunting is to pretty much wait for a pack of lions or a single lion to hunt and pretty much take down this prey. And what they will do, they'll all get online and make as much noise as possible, and they'll rush. They'll run up on the tigers, and the tigers will look at them, or the lions will look at them, and they'll be like, oh shit, and they will run off from like 3 to 4 guys in like skirts and like with spears. Why would they run off? Because the energy they coming from like, we finna fuck y'all up. And these big cats are like, what the fuck are they on? And they leave, right? But in the documentary, they were saying if any of them shows like has any emotional fear comes up,
pick up a
lion, like it's over for them. And so they'll go over there and they do this stuff and they'll take off. And then the lions will get curious after they leave and go to the rest of the food.
What kind of stuff you watching, bro?
Courageous stuff. No, it's about the energy, man, the frequency.
That's it. But that's all I got, man. Those are my experiences with energy and why the vibrations I think are so crucial. And it's so overlooked.
Yeah, because it's subtle. Have y'all heard of a guy named Caesar Milan?
Yeah.
Isn't he the
whisperer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he got a show out, or had one out, if you don't know. And And one of the episodes, he says it all the time, that your dog can pick up on your energy. So I know there's one episode, this lady, she had a real small dog, which is real aggressive. And she would, pretty much it came down to the woman, she would try to command the dog, but her emotion or her energy was something completely different. Her energy was real frantic and chaotic. And so the dog wanted to respect it. And pretty much the dog became the alpha in that relationship between those two, is because of the energy. Like you can think you're gonna punk a dog or an animal with false energy, and the animal is gonna pick up on energy, not your fucking words and gestures. It was like, bro, you scared. I can feel it on you. It's repulsive. Like, nah, no. I'm in, look at me. I'm the alpha now. And that's how it goes. It's all about the energy. And that's in every dynamic you have with the universe and with others. Yeah, last thing, I guess. So I was watching something on YouTube earlier, and it never clicked until then. So she was burning like sage and Palo Santo. She was like, if you ever burn this and somebody in your house and they just can't stand the smell of it and they just ugh, it was like, they need to be out of your house. It's just because the frequency of it is cleansing. It's that of cleansing energy. And so if somebody's real like, oh my God, it's like they energies, is
working.
Faulty.
It's working.
Exactly. But you guys got any more things you want to touch on?
Nah, we're, for the fans, listeners, we're kind of all three of us had different kind of random things pop up in life, so we're kind of regrouping and reattacking. We know we've kind of been spotty lately, but so we're sorry.
I'm making no promises right now.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, like the article or whatever, like it talks about a lot of different things. Like I said, I'll leave it in the description. On the title of it, it's called "Could Consciousness All Come Down to the Way Things Vibrate?" And pretty much in this conversation, you pretty much honed in on vibrations and gratitude and law of attraction and all those things. I mean, I feel like we said some helpful things, so you could implement them into your life and see if any changes occur. But yeah, as always, if you got any suggestions of future topics, if you're a new listener, what we do is we ask for suggestions or topics. If you have any, send it to us via social media or here on YouTube, or if you listen to podcasts, reach out to us. Yep, check out the links in the description. But that's gonna do it for this episode of the Unleashed Godcast. Yeah. Until next time. Peace.
Tall on your feet, later make up the difference. Toss and turn in your sleep. Family, I know you miss it. Tripped and rock from the streets. Starting to get the picture. Fight for your life to feed. Watch how you turn out winning. This shit is easy, man. I play the God.